Working on a project like Passbot, no 2 days are the same. It can be quite a challenge often because of the technical aspects of the project. It also means that bugs can be quite hard to track down. As any developer will tell you, demos are often full of demons, and it's hard to foresee things that may go on with those demos that ultimately do. And then tracking down those bugs and fixing them can be quite challenging. So who's the gig with today?
Is that digital agency that Mike introduced us to? It's
Oh, yeah.
I think that's actually a pretty good fit. It should be a good call. But yeah.
All right, cool.
The biggest kind of USP we have as a platform is these external vaults. So you basically send an invite. You get a notification which says it's sent, hopefully. I did this about 10 minutes ago and it worked. Any ideas, Adam?
Nope.
Just having a look to see what's going on.
The first few months we're going to do a lifetime membership just for like those first clients that are using it. Maybe help us with feedback, and we can kind of also try and tailor the product to their needs as well at the same time. So if you guys are open for that, I mean, it will be working with you essentially on like quicker developments and quicker kind of things that you actually need in the day-to-day. But
yeah, definitely. That will be well up the alley of a bunch of our guys just to sort of help out and feedback and stuff. So yeah, no issue with
you
that.
know how many roughly how many users you might need?
We have exactly 10 members of staff, so that works out really well.
Did you find out what the issue was?
Yeah, I mean, it was really stupid. So we had the live site and the staging site. The staging site was broken during the demo. So I went to go show it on the live site where there shouldn't be bugs. The staging is for new developments. The live site is for where it shouldn't be bugs, really. So on the left-hand side of the screen, I could literally, when I reviewed it, I could see that I was on the live site, and on the right-hand side, where I was demoing the client side, it's on the staging, which are two completely different environments, which means that I was editing stuff on the left and it wasn't showing on the right, and vice versa. So I can confuse myself during a demo. So there were plenty of bugs that got in the way of that demo, but the biggest one was me being an idiot.
So within application development, there's often these things called environments, which is basically referring to where that particular version of the application is hosted and what its purpose is. So within Passbot, because we're a relatively small team, we have 3 environments. These are dev or development. This basically means either myself or Evan are local environments. So these are what is on our machine, and we can do rapid development on those. We can test them ourselves as we go along. We then go into what we call a staging environment. So staging is an online hosted environment whereby Pete and other members of the team can access it. It's hidden behind a private URL, and it can only be accessed by our team. That is where we will push kind of our latest changes and our latest bits of work for Pete to review, for any people to test. But it's also the environment where Pete does all of his demos. And the reason for that is because the data that sits behind that can be refreshed as and when he needs to. So every time Pete does a demo, it means that he can look at it from a fresh perspective effectively. And it means that all of the data that he's inputting as part of those demos gets wiped in time for the next one. Once that is done, it then gets pushed up to production. Production is effectively the live public environment. So this is the environment where all of our customers, all of our clients will log into. So it's very important that obviously any bugs that get identified should get identified at the staging part. We can then fix them within our local environment and then push them back to staging and so on and so forth. And then once we're happy with staging as an environment, that it has all of the fixes for any bugs, all of the feature development and everything like that, we then push that out to production. And that production environment is completely different to our staging environment. It's really secure, it's hosted using the AWS infrastructure, and the process to get that deployment up to production is actually quite rigorous, and it's something that Evan looks after within our team due to his experience.
One of the good pieces of feedback from that meeting was
that they want to change their passwords every 3 months. Obviously, we've got it hard coded to 6 months right now. That it will make the password weak or at risk more. So we said about we want to do like a kind of a user settings page where you can change that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a few improvements I want to make to the UI in terms of like even though workspaces at the moment, I don't like how that's a separate menu item and then you've got workspace accounts. I'd rather have a separate like organization settings page where they can manage those settings. They can change, you know, what they class as an old password, but also have that where they can reset people's passkeys if they need to. Maybe we allow them to upload a logo and customize the dashboard slightly, etc.
Yeah, makes sense.
I obviously need to develop the flow to onboard that client as a
so yeah,
first
that's
potential
great that they want to try. So they want to trial it for 30 days, don't they?
Yeah.
But by the sounds of it, happy. So could be our first customer.
Could be our first customer.
I think
You just need to do the flow to actually add them.
Yeah, true. Yeah. After 2 years, we get first customer, could be great. But obviously, I feel like we haven't got first customer till there's money in the bank. But yeah, like good sign. Hi, mate. I've done that thing again. I promised that we can do API key support by the end of the week. Is that possible?